It seems like almost on a daily basis that we are seeing the destruction or corruption of beloved IPs, things that you and I grew up with, or maybe our siblings did. And it's becoming more and more disappointing as this happens pretty much to everything that we used to hold dear. And it seems like the Henson Company is jumping in with both feet to corrupt a couple more. Don't believe me? Here we go. 40 years ago, the Jim Henson Company launched a cute little show on HBO called Fraggle Rock. And while the puppets that were featured on this show were there to basically teach you how to be nice to your fellow puppet, it resonated with a lot of people. There were some real nuanced takes being put forward for the consumption of children. In fact, it was one of those rare shows on HBO that really caught fire and caught an audience maybe a little older than they expected. We'll read the article now and see what they have planned for the future. How Jim Henson Company reimagines classics like Fraggle Rock and Harriet the Spy. The company behind the Muppets have been busy recreating familiar projects from our childhoods, from Fraggle Rock to Harriet the Spy, for a new generation of kids that takes into account how much things have changed over the years. How do you keep a legacy brand growing? Jim Henson Company president of television, Hallie Stanford, told The Wrap in a recent interview, "You have to keep going back to what it's all about." Jim Henson said, if you're going to put a child in front of a television, you have to say something. But kids transform, kids change, and families need change. No, they don't. Kids are always kids. Kids are, they are just there. They're open vessels. And that's the problem with reimagining for a modern audience, because you know what this is about. I'll continue. For Stanford and her team, that's meant relaunching the 40-year-old cult hit Fraggle Rock in a new Apple TV Plus series that targets stressed out kids of today and helps them negotiate social and environmental issues, complicating their world in 2022. No, adults are complicating kids' worlds with all of this baloney sausage. Kids largely come out of their childhood not being shaped by anything other than what they're presented. And if they are presented a colorblind world, and if they are presented a treat everybody good world, they're going to come out being pretty good people. I'll keep going. From 40 years to now, we all need to feel connected, right? We're all a part of this planet. That is what Fraggle Rock was about. Empathy, understanding, and connectivity. Okay. So Fraggle Rock, Back to the Rock, which debuted on January 21, I'm not sure if any of you have seen it, I haven't, is tackling issues that range from online misinformation to pollution in the oceans to the refugee crisis. Yeah, that's going to deal with stressed out kids. That's what you do. Pile on more dystopian baloney sausage and outright lies to these kids. Flippin' ridiculous. In addition to Fraggle Rock, the Jim Henson Company has produced other series, including a Netflix show called World Party Presents Math, and an animated version of kids' book classic Harriet the Spy that debuted last November. Well, we knew about that one. Stanford, who joined the Henson Company in 1993, has a long history in kids television, winning an Emmy as executive producer of the Netflix 10-episode fantasy series, The Dark Crystal: Age of Resistance. Now, I thought that was pretty well done, and I'd hoped they'd had more episodes going forward, but hey, she launched the PBS Kids series Sid the Science Kid from 2008 to 2013, based on her own science-loving son, then a preschooler, and now 24 years of age. She spoke to the Wrap about the different challenges of rebooting Fraggle Rock and Harriet the Spy. And of course, there's an interview here as well. But I'll tell you what, there's only parts of this interview that are relevant and very telling. How is the Jim Henson Company taking its programming in a new direction? Well, this is her answer. How do you keep growing the legacy brand? So what Fraggle Rock was 40 years ago, the essence of it is still there. Well, yeah, I would say so. But then we looked at modern messaging of what kids and families need to help them make the world a better place. Look, there were environmental issues that Fraggle Rock touched on. There were issues of how to deal with being different, people recognizing that and celebrating it. All of those things existed then without the lack of nuance that I imagine this show presents. Now, I have not watched this show, nor will I. I have zero interest in Apple Plus, and when I have consumed a little of the content that they've had, I have been fully disappointed. I'll keep going. What are some of the specific issues the show addresses in 2022? Well, climate change is a big one, right? And the oceans. So you're going to see topics like that within Fraggle Rock, like cleaning up the microplastics in the oceans. Those are like big global ideas, but we also approach individual challenges that have come up. So you're going to dump more stress on these kids talking about these issues and not exactly directly pointing the blame at them. Maybe you point the blame at their parents. Maybe you point the blame at them and their parents. I don't know. But based on the type of presentation style that this could be and has been in the past, how is that helping? What about social media? We are very mindful of the digital age. So there's a couple of topics that talk about the echo chamber. Yes, that you live in. That talk about digging the truth behind the products being sold online. Well, actually, that's something I can get on board with. Just taking a look at what the real product is versus the messaging. Well, hey, you're going to tackle framing? Maybe you should point them at all the fake news from the corporate content creators like CNN. We also have the Kraggles, who wind up becoming refugees. Oh, great. And the Fraggles have to take them in and have to learn how to be good allies. Bing, 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 bing. Allies. You already know what this is. You already know what this is. You don't have to go any further into this. They are essentially preaching an ideology, and they're going to do it, and they're taking it to kids in this way that would seem innocuous to an adult walking by the television thinking, oh, it's an interesting kids program. This is why parents should be very involved with kids. It's one of the reasons why I avoid having conversations about parenting, because while I have observed bad parenting, I don't have children. Wasn't for lack of trying earlier in my life. But I can recognize bad parenting, and so can you. And we know that there are times when parents aren't paying particular attention to what their children are consuming. And believe me, I have some anecdotal stories that I could share, but it's not going to change what this is. This is another form of propaganda, and it's directed at the children of today. I'm sick and tired of it. Maybe you are too. Or maybe I'm overreacting. It's quite possible. Sometimes I'm a little hyperbolic. I get a little irritated when I see this kind of messaging being directed at kids, teenagers, and college students. Because guess what? You are trying to form a particular opinion in them rather than educating them, and I find that disgusting. But what do you think? Be sure to use the comment section down below. Are you concerned with this show and its relaunch, with the direction that it's been headed since the end of January? Are you concerned that on the heels of Harriet the Spy and on future reimagining efforts by the Henson Company, that they're going to continue to double down on politicized messaging? I don't know. Those are questions for you. And I encourage you to answer so we can have a dialogue. But because again, sometimes I'm hyperbolic. Sometimes I see more than is there. Well, that's not very often, but it does happen. But again, you don't have to be a genius to connect the dots on stuff like this. And with that being said, be sure to support other independent creators here on the platform. They absolutely deserve it. I know that they would appreciate it, and it doesn't take that much time on your part. Just hit that subscribe button for them. Go ahead and shoot a like on the videos that you enjoy. Make a comment because it bumps their engagement. And, just engage with what they do. It really will help and overcome the bias that favors the corporate content creators. And I'll end the video the same way I always do. Be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others. Wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time, bye.
Thanks for visiting today. Be sure you're subscribed and hit that for alerts.
Yay!
Of course, like and share all of the videos that you can, as it helps with the algorithm. Have a great day.